Hi, this is James Scott, Board in the Bayou. In this episode, we're going to be making some homemade soap. In this case, we're going to be doing a lavender shea butter soap. Now, we're going to be using the melt and pour system. This is the type I like to use. There's no harsh chemicals. The whole family can kind of help you out. There's a couple spots that you got to be careful with the young ones. But other than that, it's a real great family project to do. Easy to do. Most of the stuff you should have around the house. You're going to need is some soap. You can get these on Amazon relatively cheap. They come in like 2 pound blocks, and they're divided up into 1 pound sections. This is real convenient. I like to usually work with 1 pound at a time. I find it's the easiest to do when you're starting out. And microwaves real quick. The If you want to save money, you can buy it in bulk, in which case you'll need some type of scale. You're going to need a microwave safe dish. And this, I really love these Pyrex, especially this 4 cup one. I find they work great. Comes out the microwave nice and cool. Be careful again with the microwave. The soap in here is sitting at about 200 degrees, so you want to be real careful. You're gonna need some type of molds. I highly recommend getting silicone molds. You can get these from your different craft shops. Some even like bake shops have where if you want to do like various different shapes, like if you want to do this flower, it's really easy to do. The soap really takes good up to the different shapes and the detail. You can see how it will pull all those details really good. The They comes also like my other one I did with I made some honey soap. I also had the one like with the bees. They have like the oval shape. I do like to get some of these smaller ones. So as I'm filling up, if I have extra, I'll use these, and these are kind of like the little handout or little samples, or I'll put by the kitchen sink, and they're great. Now, if you're also wondering, well, how much soap do I gonna need? Well, like I said, I like to use a 1 pound batch. It'll make like 3 bars here. If you want to know exactly how much, get yourself a little digital scale. They're pretty reasonable at like Walmart or Amazon. Put your bowl on here, zero it out, and then simply fill up however many molds you want with water and pour them into the bowl. And you weigh how much the water is. The soap is pretty close to how much the water is. I'd add a little bit more soap just to be on the safe side. Now, if you don't have a scale, another thing you can do is just do the same thing, pour it into a measuring cup and see how much it fills up. A cup of water weighs about a half a pound. So 2 cups of water is right at a pound. So for every 2 cups of water you fill this in, you're going to need about a pound of soap. Really easy way to do it. Another things you're going to need, if you're going to want to do some type of dyeing of it, gives you there's a liquid dyes that are specifically for soap and bath bombs and such. Those are the ones I like to use. They do also make a powder form out of mica, which I just find these work better. In this case, we're going to be using a little bit of purple. You're going to obviously need some essential oils. In this case, I don't recommend going out and get your real expensive, high-end essential oil. It's going to be a waste. But do use a decent essential oil that you can trust and that you know is natural. You're going to need about 5 milliliters of this per pound, which is a teaspoon. I like to use one of these little syringes to get them out. Some bottles obviously come with a little syringe, but I like these. They're reusable and disposable, and got the scale on it. you're going to need some type of little rubbing alcohol. This ain't necessary, but it does make a better finished product. Put a little rubbing alcohol in one of these little spray bottles. Make sure you clearly mark it, because it's hard to eat. Once it's in here, you can't tell if it's water or what, and just keep it out of everybody's way. So you're going to take your soap, and first thing you're going to want to do is, after you weigh it, you can see this stuff just cuts great, is it'd be chopping it up, and you want to get it into I would say about little 1/2 inch blocks. You want to pretty kind of consistent. They don't have to be perfect. It makes them melt a lot easier if they're closer to the size. And after you get them all chopped up, you're going to go ahead and you will put them in the microwave. Now, best thing to do in the microwave is to put it in for a minute, and then you want to stir it. It's going to be real clumpy. Don't worry about it. It's just going to start melting. Then after that, do 30 seconds, stir, 30 seconds, stir, and just keep going like that until it's nice and melted and you have no lumps in here. And now the first thing we're going to do is, I like to add in our scent. So like I said, now in this case here, I went a little bit more. I like to put in a little bit. Now this here, here is a 1.5 pounds, so I went with 7.5 milliliters. Oh, that smells so good. I don't recommend. It's gonna have a good strong scent, as you know, with essential oils, especially when you first mix it. You definitely don't want to go over. And now the dyes. Now, if you're curious on how to get the dye, if you want like a certain color you're aiming for, I recommend is filling about, if you know about how much you're going to be using, and if you want to try to get some weird colors and all that, fill up your bowl ahead of time with water, and then you just use your drops in the water. You'll get kind of close to what you're at. Now, this being white, it's gonna change it a little bit. But another thing great about this melt and pour soap, it is pretty much what you see is what you're gonna get. So I usually like to use 3 drops per pound. So we're gonna give a couple extra here. And and most of the time on mine, I usually don't like to get too dark of a color. I want it enough where I can tell by look of what each type is. Oh, that's perfect. That's just the right color. My wife Kathy, she loves the lavender one, and of course her favorite color is purple. So I get that nice purple there. All right, let's put the cap back on here. And another little tip I like to do is inside my dyes, I put my little, how many drops I've used on different batches, how much essential oil I use on the different batches. And you can do, if you put in just like a drop and then do like a little swirl thing, you can get kind of a swirl if you want to try to get fancy. I gotta start forming a clump of scent there a little bit. All right, now, well, the fun part. Pour in, find your favorite ones. Now, I generally recommend don't go quite to the top. Get about Well, most of the way to the top. Ooh, the dolphin one. Gotta have the dolphin one. The reason being is you want to get about equal size bars. Gotta have the butterfly. Oh, now the tree of life. Yep, there was a clump. And then you can go back over and kind of top them off if you're. Don't wait too long because it does start to set up pretty good, pretty fast. And don't worry about being messy. You are literally working with soap. Whoa, get these chunks. Okay. Okay. That was almost done. Remember, it's hot, so don't go trying to touch it. Now, like I said, with the rubbing alcohol, you'll see they have a few little bubbles on top. You spray it's just spray a little bit of rubbing alcohol on top, and poof, bubbles are gone. Let this sit for a couple hours. Depends on the heat and humidity. It may take a little bit less, a little bit more. You'll be able to, when you kind of feel the bottom of it, you can feel there once it's real cool to the touch. Now all you have to do from there is next time you make it or however you make it, you can change out your essential oils to be something different. You can go ahead and swap it out. In this case, this would be tea tree. I use some tea tree oil, about the same amount of essential oil, vanilla. Now, be careful with rose oil. If you want to do a rose one, rose oil has been known to irritate the skin. Excuse me. So you want to be careful with that one. I recommend going a lot lower on the amount on that one. Another one of caution is the citruses. As much as I love citrus, have found that it doesn't really hold up over time. It likes the scent. It dies off real fast. So I don't recommend to do the citruses. I say stay with the herbs, frankincense, vanilla, lavender, tea tree, eucalyptus. Those are great. Those are some of my favorite ones that everybody seems to really enjoy. When you're done, like over here, you literally put it in some hot water. It's soap. It washes off real easy. Then after you're done, and they all cool and everything, you can see they got these little plastic shrink wrap. You can get these. They sell them on Amazon or at various different places. You get these with a little sealer. Just put them in the bag, seal them, shrink them. Make sure you put like a little hole in there when you shrink it. You'll learn the first time when you go to try to shrink it, it's like a big balloon, turns like a balloon. You can get some of these labels. I think it's Avery label. They got various different types of labels. I like these brown ones. You can get label it, say what it is, give you a little logo, put your ingredients in, what type of health benefits it may comes from using that type of soap. And that's it. It's the hardest part is wait for these things to cool down. And what we'll do is at the end right here, we're going to be putting up here some pictures of what these look like when they came out. And that's it for this episode. If you like to learn any other type of soap, just let me know in the comments below. This is James Scott, Boy on the Bayou. Thank you.